Hello, welcome to another episode of Litigation Speaks. I'm Richard Claywell, and we're talking to you today about introduction to symmetrical data. Sounds kind of complicated. Symmetrical data, if you all remember from way back when, probably in high school, maybe in college, you saw a bell curve. And a bell curve means, well, depending on what the bell curve looks like, but a symmetrical bell curve is where you have an equal number of data points on the left-hand side and you have an equal number of data points on the right-hand side. The data points on the left-hand side will tend to be negative numbers. The data points on the right-hand side will tend to be positive numbers. Why does that make a difference? What do attorneys need to know about this? You need to know that because if the data is not symmetrical, i.e. it's lopsided, or it's actually called skewed, then you're not going to get an equal chance of having an even number of positive and negative numbers to get the answer that you're really looking for. When you do a business valuation or you do economic damages, this is critical because depending on where those data points lie, it can impact the total number that you're going to get for your multiples, so that when you multiply a particular ratio that you're going to get from these sales transactions, it's going to be either lower or higher than the intent is supposed to be if the data is not normally symmetrical. If the data points are skewed to the left, what winds up happening is we have more negative numbers or lower values that are out there. What's going to wind up happening is when you calculate the numbers, your data points are going to be skewed to the left, which is going to create a lower value. So now if you're using a market approach, or you're capitalizing earnings, or you're capitalizing cash flows, that's going to tend to give you a lower value for what you're looking for. If those data points are skewed to the right, it's going to create higher values, and therefore you're going to get a higher number when you multiply the multiple by whatever your earnings base is going to be. So it's real easy if you want to cherry pick the data. But what I see most of the time is people will download the data into Story. They don't check it to see if it's symmetrical or it's not symmetrical. So they don't know if they are getting a, quote, fair value for you, or they're getting a lower value or a higher value. They're just not doing the analysis to see what that is. And that can have a major impact on the value of the company that you've got or on the damages that you have. So once they've selected that data, they don't really know what they've got on there. They just use whatever the multiple is that they arrive at. And it's more than likely it's going to be wrong, especially if the data is skewed. Now, this is a very, very short podcast today because what I want to do is introduce you to that concept. In the future, we're going to have additional podcasts that relate to the symmetry of the data, and I'm going to show you in more detail how that works. But I want to show you in short chunks how this information really is to be applied. So I thank you again for being here today. If you have any questions or comments, either give me a call or send me an email. If there's a topic that you'd like for me to discuss, send me an email. I hope you enjoy this. Again, I know it's short, but we'll see you next time. Thank you.